This is the map of Ukraine in 2025 and it's still unfinished because it's being redrawn by war.
Russia says it will pause fighting in Ukraine for 72 hours. Victory Day.
Russia wants influence, NATO wants control, and Ukraine is fighting for its existence and its right to stay on the map. This war is about the future of Europe. In 2014, Ukraine changed course. The people removed a pro-Russian president, Viktor Yanukovych. They wanted the EU, and Russia responded with invasion.
In Crimea itself, the Russian forces are consolidating their grip.
In February 2014, Russian soldiers without any flags or uniforms entered Crimea. They took control of airports, government offices and military bases, all just in few days. Then in March 2014, Russia held a quick vote in Crimea, known as the referendum. People were asked if they wanted to join Russia. The voting happened under military control with no international observers, and in just 2 weeks, many Crimeans, especially Tatars and Ukrainians, boycotted it. But Russia claimed over 90% of the people voted yes. Most of the world called it illegal. But Russia said Crimea is ours now. It was a huge loss for Ukraine because Crimea has a major port called Sevastopol, where Russia keeps its powerful navy on the Black Sea. In the east of Ukraine, in the regions of Donetsk and Luhansk, armed groups backed by Russia took over government buildings. They waved Russian flags and declared two fake countries, the Donetsk People's Republic and the Luhansk People's Republic. Ukraine called it terrorism. Russia called it a rebellion. This was the start of war in Donbass. Slow at first, but deadly. Over 13,000 people died in the next few years. The front lines froze until everything exploded in 2022. In February 2022, Russia launched a full-scale invasion of Ukraine. The goal was to take Kyiv, overthrow Ukrainian government and break Ukraine, splitting it into pieces and keeping it under Russia's control. Russia believed that the invasion would be quick, but Ukraine didn't fall. Ukraine fought back with support from NATO. Ukrainian forces pushed back the Russian army. Ukraine defended Kyiv, stopping the Russians from capturing the capital. Ukrainian soldiers also reclaimed Kherson in the south and held Kharkiv in the east, despite intense bombing. Putin's goals were much bigger. He doesn't just want Ukraine. He is looking to create a land corridor from Russia to Crimea. He also wants Transnistria, a breakaway region in Moldova which is pro-Russian. He aims to control the Black Sea, which is vital for trade and military power. Russia wants Ukraine's resources. Ukraine is rich in minerals like titanium and iron ore, which is crucial for technology and weapons. Russia also wants to control Ukraine's pipelines, which transport natural gas to Europe. But Putin's biggest concern is NATO. NATO is a military alliance made by US, Canada and many European countries. Russia fears NATO expansion, especially it moving closer to Russian borders, which is why it is stopping Ukraine's NATO membership for years. NATO sees Ukraine as a wall, a buffer zone that prevents Russian influence from spreading further into Europe. NATO has spent weapons, intelligence, and even billions to help Ukraine defend itself against Russia. And for the US, this is about democracy, energy control, and long-term influence in Europe. Ukraine holds rare earth minerals, pipelines, grains, and gas. Losing it to Russia would reshape global power. Ukrainians don't want a buffer zone. They don't want to be puppets. They want freedom. Polls show overwhelmingly that they support joining NATO and the EU. They want to define their own borders, not have them defined by tanks. As of 2025, Ukraine controls most of its north and west. Russia holds Crimea. It also holds parts of Zaporizhia, Donetsk and Luhansk. But this isn't a frozen map. Every day it shifts, with drones, artilleries and human lives. If Russia wins, Ukraine may be split in half. Crimea remains Russian. Donbass becomes a part of a fake Russian satellite. Ukraine loses the sea. NATO loses a buffer. Democracy may take a big hit across the globe. If Ukraine wins, it reclaims its 1991 border, which means Crimea returns, Donbass reintegrates, and it also joins NATO and the EU. Russia will be pushed back, and Putin's power may crumble. But the most likely outcome would be a frozen war, which means neither side wins, and the front lines become permanent. A new iron curtain, tense, dangerous, and unresolved. The borders of Ukraine matters. They are not just lines, they are promises. Promises of peace, freedom, and sovereignty. And when this war ends, the final map of Ukraine would tell the world whether we live in an era which is ruled by force or by the will of people.